everyone, and welcome back to Talk It Out with D&D. I'm your girl, Denise Murray, and this is y'all girl, Denise Day All Day, Miss Day All Day. Now, y'all, I hope y'all been having a great week so far, but tonight, we are going to talk about a topic that a lot of people are uncomfortable with talking about, and that's the word selfish.
Ooh.
Now, selfish, y'all. Selfish. Now, I was listening to Tyrese, and he was talking about this with TD Jakes. And he was talking about the topic and what the word is. And now the word, like he said, the word starts with the word self, right? But somehow over the years, people turn that word into a negative. You know what I mean? And so let's be honest for a moment. A lot of us spend our lives showing up for everybody else, right? Every day
Yes.
we're doing something for everybody. You know what I mean? And we don't always, we're giving them mental, we're giving them emotional, we giving them physical, we giving them financial, we giving them psychological. We are consistently pouring into people. And what happens? What happens is we become exhausted. We get
Yes.
depleted, we get tired, we get overwhelmed. Sometimes we even sick to our stomachs. But we just giving so much of ourselves away. And the crazy part is a lot of people we're giving it to don't even notice it or don't even appreciate it. They don't ask you and say like, hey, are you okay? Or do they ask like, hey, are you tired? Do you need a break? Or, thank you, just for taking the time out, or you know what I mean, or something. So tonight I just want to ask this real question. Is being selfish actually wrong, or is it sometimes necessary for your survival? Because sometimes protecting your peace means saying, I'm not answering that phone call today. I'm not returning that text today. I'm not giving you emotional access to me today. Not because you're mean, but because you're protecting your energy. So tonight we're going to unpack this whole idea of selfishness and talk about when choosing yourself is actually the healthiest decision you can make. So let's talk about it, Ms. Day. What can you say about it?
Well, I think I love this topic because it's something, like you said, needs to be discussed. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that is selfish if you have been the one that has been selfless, right? You've been on point, like you just said in the intro. You're taking care of everybody, you're covering everybody. But when that is not reciprocated, then where do you go from there? And so for you to make a conscious effort and a decision to cover yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. Because if you are the one that is continually giving, I look at that in the state of parents. If you're a caregiver, I know I was a caregiver for 10 years and I was begging for help toward the end because I needed a break. And when you did not get that, then you start thinking and like, wow, you're not being selfish to me. You have been selfless and given to others. So for you to ask, because if you ask not, you receive not. I believe in asking for what you need because nobody can read your mind. That's in relationships, be it spousal, kids, parents, whatever it is. You need to speak out loud what you desire. I always say I don't need anything. It's certain things that I desire. And when I was caregiving, I desired help. One of my siblings helped, the other one didn't. But it still was all on me. I was still working the job, still taking care of my parent. But I never got selfish in caring for her. But the point when I had to go take me a 3-day cruise every now and again, that's what I did. That was my reprieve. That was me getting a break. So it can be touchy, but it depends on, are you requiring, are you requesting, are you desiring something from others? If it is, you got to speak on it. If it's not, sometimes people just suffer in silence. And I'm not one of those people. But that's how you get ulcers. That's how you get burnout. That's how you shut down. That's how you start going internal with different methods. But no, ask for what you desire, and that's help.
Right.
That's
Now, the word selfish has been a negative word. Like when we say, like,
Mhm.
even growing up as a kid, you always, oh, don't be selfish. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
selfish has always been that negative word. And so people
Yep.
love the person who always says yes, or the person who always helps, or the person who always shows up, the person who always fixes it. But then you eventually get burnt out. But why do people get so get uncomfortable, I should say, when you finally choose yourself? Like people don't mind you being selfless as long as it benefits them. But once it
Right.
don't benefit them, they get upset. So why do you think the word selfish is? Because like we said, it has to, the word self starts with self. You know what I mean? Selfish just starts with self. So why do people look at that word and you grow up with that word being so negative? Like why do people look at that
Well,
word as so negative?
it, in my humble opinion, I think that to use that word on somebody somewhat, it's a manipulation tactic.
Mm,
It's a way to manipulate you. Because if I start calling you names and saying, oh, you're just all about you, you're just selfish, right? That's manipulation in order to bring you to a point to where you're going to agree on what they saying.
mm,
And can't nobody tell me about who I am other than me, God first, and me, because God checks me first, and
mm.
then it's me. Then I look to my spouse, the person I can trust. But if
Right.
it's a person who you can't even trust, calling you selfish, what's up with them?
Right.
Let's
To
talk about it. They
Toots
trying to
says
manipulate
sometimes it's
you.
a necessary. Toots says sometimes
Yeah,
it's necessary to be. She says some people don't appreciate it, so sometimes it's necessary to be selfish when it comes to being selfish, and that's what we are saying. So overextending
right.
yourself for people who don't reciprocate it. So many people will give, because they care. Some people they feel is responsible, and then you have those ones who don't want to disappoint others, so they just be like, oh, I'm gonna do this because I don't want to make nobody upset. But a lot of
Right.
times, but giving becomes unhealthy when people expect it from you and people manipulate you and people never pour back into you, and you keep saying some people only call you when they need something. And so like to be
Yes.
on the topic, like I remember I had a conversation about this earlier. It's crazy. And I was like, I have a person, I ain't going to throw them on blast because that'd be wrong. But I had but I had a person who I never I never hear anything from this person at all. Never. And I was like, I was like, look, I call this person, I say, when it's different holidays, try to give them shout outs to everything, like texting them and letting them know, like, whether whatever holiday it is, Father's Mother's Day, whatever. And I'll say, give that shout out, or if it's a birthday or something like that, but then I don't get a response. But then you'll get a phone call when that same person like want to borrow some money from you. Then it's like, okay, now you know my number, but you didn't know my number, or you couldn't even respond to me. And then I'll be like, so I'm like, so no, you don't get access to me no more. So I shut down. But then also I had another situation happen where I was like, okay, sometimes people can play on you. You see what I'm saying? Like they'll
Yeah.
call you and or text you and then they'll be nasty. And then when you try to shut it down, they try to use reverse psychology on you. And then it's like, oh no, 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 no. And so I have learned so much how to disconnect where I will let you say whatever you got to say. And I know how to not even respond. Like I can
Okay.
disconnect really good now. Like I've been learning to do better at that because even like now, it's tax season. It's super busy at this time of year. And so
Right.
I'll have people who will be trying to reach me and connect with me and stuff all day long. And I'm like, hello, I am super busy. It's not that I'm being mean. It's not that, again, I'm not being selfish and I'm not trying to ignore you. However, I am super busy. I just honestly don't have the time a lot of times. And sometimes I'll get so caught up because I might have a person that might come in person. And so I could be in the midst of starting to text you back and I have to stop because I got somebody in front of me. Then I forget, you know what I mean? Because of the fact that I done got busy and I'm going on. So it's like, I'm not paying attention to I'm not even remembering what happened because I'm so focused. So I'm like, sometimes people take that as oh, you couldn't
You
respond,
dissing them.
oh, you being mean. And I'm like, it's not that, it's just that sometimes you are just super, you just don't have it. And sometimes people can be energy drainers too. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you
They're
can talk.
vampires. They're
Yes.
vampires.
You ever had somebody, like, let's give an example. You ever had somebody who every time you talk to them, they got a story? You ever had, and it's like, it'd be so depressing just to have a conversation with the person because everything is a story.
Everything is a problem.
Tell the
Everything is a
truth and
problem.
shame the devil.
What she say?
He said, tell the truth and shame the devil.
Come on. Okay, let's think about that though. Let's think about that. You and I are business partners, right? We've been business partners for almost over a year.
Right.
In this time of the year, I know not to be ringing on your phone, and we'd be up in the wee hours of the night. That's how we was doing back pass. But
Right.
when tax season comes, I'm not ringing your phone. I'm not expecting you to be pat me on my head and rub my tummy. I know you are in the midst of business. And what I tell you, when you slow down, after you get all of your booking clients, after you get all of your bookkeeping folks out the way, then let me know. Then you gonna hit me and the husband up because you are our accountant. But we're retired. You can catch us on the back end. Why would I be calling you trying to just be on the phone talking about blah blah blah? And I know you got all these customers, you got clients in front of you. That is crazy work. And if somebody can't get that in their head, if they not understanding what your business is and who you are and what you're accomplishing, then there's something wrong with them. But they would have us believe it's something wrong with you. No, it's you. You're insecure. Something's wrong. But you got to be able to know. But that's what I say when you talk about you. That's not selfish. That's not even being selfless. That's being about business. We just speak business. And if you really care about that person, you wouldn't even put them in that predicament. That's what drives me crazy when people can't even understand where you are, but yet they want to do some reverse psychology. Let's do some other stuff and make you feel a certain kind of way. No, I need you to just step up, be responsible, and understand where I am if you really with me. What's that? So and so, are you with me? Either you are, are you not?
Right. Yeah, we about to say, are you with me? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And that's how I feel like with a lot of times when people feel like you're being selfish only because it's not like being something that you're doing for them. And I think that's a lot of times where that comes from. It's not really that you're, and then don't get me wrong, and there are some selfish people out there where they won't give nothing to nobody, they won't give you their time, they not. But I wonder, but then we got to think about it. Are those people really selfish, or have they been like, have they always been that way, or have they been giving so much to so many people? So now they just be like, this is who I am. I'm not doing for nobody no more. So are they being selfish, or are they just being about themselves because they have to do it for their own sanity?
Well, let's think about this, because I know for a fact I've been a giver all of my life. Since I was 5, I was taking my relative who was going half blind to a doctor's appointment on 2 buses, and I was 5 years old. I have always been blessed like that. I'm the youngest of my family, but I took care of my elders, right? I even took care of one of my siblings. I'm looking out for everybody. People that was in my class that I didn't even know that during the pandemic that I was giving coins and cash to, right? But never even checked on me when I was going through my second bout of cancer or the lung cancer. None of that. No checking on you. But the bottom line is I did what God called me to do, right? But then in the midst of this, God had to take the blinders off of me and say, you got to understand, everybody ain't for you. Okay? You giving, and everything you giving to everybody, they ain't for you. So he had to purge the circle. He had to show me who was with me and who wasn't. Right. And so that was a part of my growth. That was a part of my understanding. But God said, don't let it change who you are. Those that are with you, you still can be a blessing to. Folks that me and my husband bless every day. If we get something, we giving something because it'll all come back. But
Right.
I had to get an understanding that that's not me being selfish to those individuals, but I
Mm.
had to peep it out. Who's with me and who's not? Even a caring concern. Because when you first started and you said you were sending somebody a happy birthday or a love offering or whatever you're doing, if they can't even respond to that, you got me messed up. It's okay. Because now they just showed they underpants. The skirt
Mhm.
just blew up, right? And you can see they draws. But that's okay. We ain't got to worry about it. But
Right.
those that love you, you will know. Those that are with you, you will know. And you
Mhm.
don't have to feel bad about it. But I know God taught me in the midst of that storm that I didn't know if we were going to live or die. But if we going out, everybody will be good. But
Exactly.
no, we all lived and we survived. And I thank y'all for showing me who you were. Okay.
Now let's talk about emotional access as a privilege. Because one of the strongest ideas you mentioned, not everyone deserves access to your emotional space. You know what I mean? That friend who always calling with drama, or a family member, or that person who always got to bring something up that's negative, or that person that just totally, just the hearing a voice drains your energy. It's like, just because someone has your number doesn't mean that you have access to your peace. And so that emotional access, let's talk about that emotional access.
Oh, emotional access is so important. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I realize is that if you, the emotional access, if you cannot be in a place to where we can support one another, then that's a problem. And usually, one somebody can be stronger than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know a lot of times I have led people in a spiritual realm. I have brought up things where they had not yet understood. That happened today with me and my sister friend, right? And
Mm-hmm.
she said, "Oh my God, I received that," because I was saying something to her about you can't not pressure somebody in their area of faith, because faith is a free will choice,
Mm-hmm.
right? And either they gonna go with God, they gonna love him, they gonna understand, or they will not. But it's not for us to put that pressure on them, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to emotional access, you no longer get to drain the blood out of my veins. And
Mm-hmm.
I had did that for a long time, allowing people to just suck on my energy. You know, it just recently happened that
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer going to be in spaces where nobody's considering, am I well, but yet you will suck off my energy. To
Mm-hmm.
me, that's not okay, because
Right.
I could be balled up in a fetal position in the corner and you
Mm-hmm.
not give a damn because you just sucked the life out of me. I'm now on life support and you ain't nowhere around.
Mm.
To me, it's
Right
got to
here.
be reciprocated. It's
Mm.
got to be, I care about you, you care about me. How you doing? And I know,
Right.
you know, that's how we do. How are
Mm-hmm.
you today? Because I know this is heavy. If I send you a text, if I send you a word, if I just say I'm thinking about you with my bobblehead emoji with this
Mm-hmm.
head
I
on,
so love them.
right, right.
Uh-huh.
Because you may not have time to talk to me
Right.
on the phone, but I need to send you a bobblehead so you
Mm-hmm.
can know I'm thinking about you.
Right.
The
I love
fuck?
that.
Come on. We got to do that. But if nobody's doing that for you, if that individual, sometimes you just got to sever it. It
Mm.
ain't no hate, no discontent. I care for you, but you don't get, like you just always say, that access. You
Mm.
don't get to pull the blood out of my veins and suck the life out of me, and you ain't caring about me. We ain't doing that in 2026.
Right. And then that also brings up, like, when we talk now, let's flip it when it comes to business. So, like, there are sometimes people in a business space who you may, you feel like I remember before, like, matter of fact, I'm gonna give an example.
Okay.
There was in the travel industry, you have people in the travel business, and in that industry, sometimes you'll see people who be like, they kind of like, okay, if you're not moving and if you're not doing certain things, if you're not producing, if you're not, making it rain, what I mean, basically like really pulling your weight in that business and showing any kind of work within that business, they're like, I'm not trying to associate, with that at all. And so they like kind of shut down when it comes to people, um when it comes to people like basically trying to get help, I should put it like that. When it comes to them trying to
Support,
get help, they're
support.
like, I'm not trying to do that because these people are not doing anything. So they'll be like, okay. And so then I used to be like, dang, these the people that you brought into this industry, but you don't want to help them. And then I would be that one that would be going above and beyond, trying to do so many different things that can help. But then I started realizing, I'm like, okay, I'm doing all these things, but is it really something that these people want? You know what I mean? Like, is this really something that they really are going to appreciate? And then you start feel like, okay, maybe these people weren't being selfish when they weren't doing this. It's just that the people who you're doing it for are not appreciative or not wanting to really pull their weight, and they kind of just there. And so it's like sometimes when people are not doing something and we kind of look at as, oh, you're not being helpful or you're not being, whatever. But at the end of the day, when you start seeing the other side of things, then that's when you really start saying, okay, it's really not like that. This is why this person is doing this, or this is why this person is not doing that, because you start seeing the opposite side of it, opposed to just giving the one side of it that we always, what we can see right then and there. You know what I mean? So a lot of times I think that that's where what happens with some people, that they see the side there are now, but they don't see what happened for them to get to that side. And so that's when, because like for me, I'd be like, okay, because I can send a bunch of, like, I'll send out a bunch of messages, I'll send out different things. And when I see people are not responding, or they're not connecting, or they're not doing anything, I still sometimes will do it, just because I'm like, I don't want, because I feel like if you're connected to me, I don't want to ever make a person feel like, okay, you're in this and I'm having you alone. And so you can't, and then sometimes I know people be busy, and then like anybody, sometimes you can forget, you know what I mean? If you're busy, you may not be able to respond. And then when you think you forgot about it. And so I try to give people that grace, you know what I mean, when it comes to that. But then also it's like, okay, are you really that busy that you could never respond? Or are you just that busy that you didn't want to respond? Or is it that I'm just needing to back away from how I'm dealing with you and what we're dealing with? So therefore, I'm not still communicating with you. Is this a waste of my time? You know what I mean? Now I'm looking at it like, how is this being productive to me with me helping you? And that's where I think sometimes we need to start looking at stuff to say, how is this really benefiting either one of us at this point? Because if you're not doing what I'm giving you help to do, and you're not doing it to help you grow, then how is any of that beneficial in any kind of way?
To you. Okay. I think, okay, now this is a good one, because I think two things can be true at the same time sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I could see the point of view where you were saying that if they're not available, or if they didn't follow through and give back the input, then
Mm-hmm.
that can appear that, okay, they're not really that concerned, but you put out the effort and they didn't reply.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's the true side. The other side of this that really made me shift with my whole dynamic about business is the other side. Because, like I said, I wanted the women over 40. I'm 62, about to be 63. So
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to connect with those women, just women in general, when it first started. And then I went after the women that I was close to, my
Mm-hmm.
good high school girlfriends, my good sister friends, and their daughters. I wanted to pull them in and talk to them about legitimizing their business. The very things that you talk about, the very things we talk about. Let them know how this is real. But when I was not getting that response that I was expecting, then I began to feel like, well, I'm putting all my energy out here, but they really not getting this. They really not following through with this. But
Mm-hmm.
the Lord had to show me the difference. I'm retired. They are still working 9 to 5 jobs. So
Mm-hmm.
the mindset could be in a different place. It
Mm-hmm.
may not be that they just don't want to, it may be that they're just not prepared to. So
Mm-hmm.
God had to show me that. Then I shifted. So now it's not about me helping another woman, convincing her to grow her business, because when she's ready and she able, either you can help her, I can help her, right? But
Mm-hmm.
right now, my thing is about grow me, grow my brand, Mrs. Day all day. So I had to take that energy, focus it back on me. Because see, I ain't gonna disappoint me. The only
Mm-hmm.
time when I do disappoint me is when I have them moments I'll go down for a minute. But girl, I'm bouncing back up. Shit.
Right.
Right? So, but other people have other priorities. So God had to show me respect that we are in different places. None is better or worse. But honey, I'm glad I'm retired. I'm glad I'm outside of it. But other people may have a different concept. They don't even have a concept. So
Mm-hmm.
they don't know how to respond or how to reply. I'm not going to hold that against you, Queen. I'm going to say that's your path. But I had to choose me. And
Right.
so that's what it is. All of my life, I've been choosing everybody else. I got
Mm-hmm.
to cover everybody else, the ancestors, the elders, the siblings, all of that. But God said, right now, put it be about you. I called you. You are Esther for such a time as this. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when the reality, boom, it hit me. But that's why I say two things can be true at the same time, that we got to respect them and let them be, but we
Mm-hmm.
got to respect us and get us on the trajectory.
And what you just said, I love that. What you said is about the mindset. And a lot of times with the mindset, sometimes we get upset, but it's because we want more for other people a lot of times. And sometimes they're not at that point where they want it. And so we have to let that go. And then it's not that, and then when we let it go and they start coming to us, it's not that we're wanting to be selfish because we like, no, because you ain't ready for it. So it's like, no, I just know you ain't gonna do it. I just know you ain't ready for this. Cause I said, I don't know how long I've been telling people about having these, like I said, don't have no Yahoo or no Gmail account. It costs $12 a year that you can spend. They get you a professional domain and have a professional email address. And then when I
Come
see you
on.
still giving me that, and then I'm like, okay. So
They
now
better
when
find
I
out.
now it's not selfish that I won't say nothing about your stuff no more. I'm just like, I'm not gonna say nothing because if I'm already telling you I didn't gave you game and you still using the same thing, then it's like, okay, why am I wasting my time and entertaining it? Because that's what you're not ready for that yet. So now what you just said, that mindset. So it's like you have
That
to. So it's
mindset.
not that a person is like not disconnected from you. It's just that they see you not on that page no more. So they're like, okay, let me let you get ready. When you ready, you
You
contact
gotta get
you
ready.
gotta
That's
get ready
it.
for yourself. And it's
That's
not that
it,
I'm being
Queen.
selfish. It's not that I'm trying to shut you out, but it's like I see you not at that point. And that's why I say sometimes even with people who have when people have, and this is one of the things that I notice, especially in that industry again, is that a lot of people who have jobs are in that business. And so when they get into it, a lot of them get into it because number one, they want the benefits of having discounts on their travel. They number two, they help in their taxes. And so
Mhm.
those are the main two things that you would get from those type of people. So when it comes to doing anything business related or tell them to do anything business wise, that's not really their mindset because they're still 9 to 5 or they still got a job. And it's like they're just doing it for those two purposes. So the additional is not going to. So it's like, okay, we're not all right here when it comes to that because you don't want to really do all the extra. You just want to do what's going to help you in your moment right now. You're not looking at the
Right
future.
now.
You're looking at right now.
Right
And
now.
so
Right
that's what we
now.
have to understand. It's not so when we back away and we like, I see you on the right now side. Don't get mad because I'm backing away. Just say,
No,
call me when
you're
you.
not ready. Exactly. And one of my good sister friends, like I
Right.
say, she's still doing her 9 to 5. Another one, she retired. Another one, she's still working her fingers to the bones. But with the ones that I'm really connected to, we understand that. And then we start talking about what retirement situations will look like. We'll speak on it, but it's no pressure. And that's what I love. I love us being connected, because even when I had a H&R Block person initially preparing my taxes, he gave us the ins and outs about doing it for breaking off when we sold our home in California. But then there was a year or two when there was no leeway. Then when I connected with you and you start explaining tax breaks, tax situations, but don't overdo this on your business, do that. When you explain that, now you are my permanent accountant. I'm telling you, when you know when something happened, they was like, hey, how do you want to handle this? I said, I'm going to speak to my accountant about it. That's what I'm going to do, because
Right.
I trust your knowledge base. But everybody that is not in that place, I am not angry with you. I'm not mad at you. When you ready, if you want to, my girlfriend just out here recently, you want to get your business accrement together, because see, back then I was trying to help you then, but you want to do it now. My trajectory has shifted, but I'll lead her to you. I gave her your link. Go over there and get your book about setting up your business. Okay, go get the ebook from you, and at the end you need to tell the people where to go get it. But
Right.
that's what we need to be doing. We can direct you in the right decision. I ain't mad at you. It ain't no hard feelings, but I am no longer going to be stressed about what anybody else is doing.
Right.
I get to grow. Mrs. Day All Day, I appreciate you turning me on to the lead stacker. We need to put that in the clips of this, the link, how people can go sign up under you, get the lead stacker, get the information. That's what I'm ready to grow. And you're right. Let me say this last thing about them emails. I'm out here in Nevada back when I was selling Legal Shield, but what MLMs don't work for me. I don't like getting rejected. It was something different for me. But when I was going to try to do a Legal Shield thing at a conference, Las Vegas had a whole convention, and I wanted to sign up. I still had Mrs. Day All Day at gmail.com was my email address. Those people told me, but now I'm contact at mrsdayallday.com. Okay.
Hey.
Okay. But yeah, them people told me you can't even apply for the conference with a Gmail address.
Say
They
that
didn't
again.
know
I,
that's
I, I,
big.
I don't think somebody here in the back heard you. So you say that one more time. What you say happened?
I could not even apply for a conference to be a vendor with a Gmail address. They told me, no, ma'am, we do not accept Gmail addresses. Okay. So I learned that year. The next year I was in a training, and the sister said, y'all need to get rid of them Gmail accounts. That's what she said. And that next week, my husband went and got me Mrs. Day All Day contact at mrsdayallday.com. I have through GoDaddy, got my domain name to line up with that. I may get ready to change it, but that's what it is right now. It's official. I have an official web address, and I have official email.
And what's your web address?
Huh?
What's your web address?
My web address is mrsdayallday.com.
Did y'all hear that?
mrsdayallday.com. And then I'm getting ready to shift that to my lead stacker, because it's even more professional. It's got all of my stuff is going to be under there. So I'm shifting from my but I may keep Mrs. Day, but still I'm shifting it to my lead stacker. And that email address is no longer at Gmail. I told you, I'm getting figured out how to kill it off right now. Exactly. And I used to have another one, a Nubian 126 at Gmail. And like I said, all them Craig and them's and all of them slick names and stuff on Gmail, that is not business. People are looking at that like, dang, how the bank gonna look at that?
Right.
You know, I'm hot mama at gmail.com. Okay, you might be a hot mama, but I ain't finna loan you no money at hot mama. I'm just saying, and I ain't mad at no hot mamas out there. Y'all know your man know you're hot, but the bank don't care that you hot mama. Okay? Just saying.
Toots said, tell your story walking. By the time you finish it, I'll be over. But like now, like I just wanted people to understand, like a lot of times with guilt, like we choosing yourself without feeling guilty. I want people to understand that you can choose yourself. Like shucks, just yesterday, just last night, I was up till 2:30. I put my phone on do not disturb and I went to sleep and I didn't answer nobody because I was like, I knew my phone was going to start early and I'm up late and I'm like, and I need to focus. That's why I was like, I have to cut this calendar for the in-person appointments because it was starting to become overwhelming. And I was just like, it's just me. But what I did today, and I'm so proud of myself, is I finally went ahead and sent the stuff to the school. And guess what? They gave me a response back and was like, I am so interested in far as the internship. So me connecting with the school.
Yay!
I'm
A
like, yeah.
round of applause. A
I was
round
like,
of
thank
applause.
God. But I was just saying to myself, like, sometimes people don't understand. And I sometimes be like, oh, if I don't help this person, they're gonna feel some type of way. Or, they're gonna make it look like I'm not. But it's like sometimes we have to be selfish because if you making me feel like I got to be on your beck and call, and every time you send me every time you reach out, I can't never get nothing else done because I'm so focused on just one person and I can't do that. It's just me. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm doing everything within the thing. So I'm like, it's not about being selfish. It's just that sometimes you have to just let go so you can be able to get things done. So
Yes.
people, you are out there. I want you to realize you were overextending yourself for people. Yes. You might have had guilt for yourself, but in tonight's conversation, because a lot of people are slightly carrying the weight of everyone else's problems. But here's the truth. Choosing yourself is not selfish. Protecting your peace is not selfish. Setting boundaries is not selfish. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is say, not today. Matter of fact, go get a t-shirt with that. Not today. Or not right
I
now.
love it.
Or not anymore. Matter of fact, I want to try to have some shirts with these on. Not today is one. Not right now is another. And not anymore is another one. Because people who truly respect you, like Miss Day said, they will understand your boundaries. And the ones who don't, well, sometimes those are the people that needed the boundaries the most. So I want to say thank y'all for joining us tonight on Talk It Out. This is a conversation. If it spoke to you, I want y'all to go ahead and like and subscribe, or pass this on to somebody else, because somebody else may need to hear this tonight or need this message, because sometimes people are overwhelmed. There is so much mental illness going on with people. Sometimes people are getting stressed out, and sometimes it's not even outside people. Sometimes it can be your daggone kids getting on your nerves, or your mate, your partner, your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your parents, your whoever.
Yeah.
It can be friends, whoever. It can be people that just don't understand. I need space. I need a breather. I need to focus. I need, like, you may need that time, and it's not being selfish. You're not just ignoring them. You just need your peace. Make sure y'all have y'all peace. And like Miss Day brought up about the lead stacker, when we talk next week on next Thursday and we come on, I want y'all to see what we have in this lead stacker. So I'm going to go do that live next week, y'all. So if you are a business owner, next week I want you to come on so you can see the ins and out, and also meet a guest that we'll have as well. But I just want y'all to see what you can do with having so many all-in-one tools, all in one space, and saving you some money. So again, until next week, I will see y'all. And I want y'all to remember to protect your peace and get those shirts out there. So when somebody say you're getting up, say, not today. Not today.
Not right now. I'm putting that in mind.
Y'all have a good night, and I'll talk to y'all next week. Good night, everyone.
Love you guys.